Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I see our attendees are streaming in, so I'll go over my ground rules for the webinar. Let's wait until a few more people are in. Okay, perfect. So today's webinar is Cybersecurity, an Introduction to Protecting Your Small Business, with our distinguished panelist, Estefanita Rawlings. And Estefanita is I like to give her the title of Director, Center Director of the Technology Commercialization Accelerator at New Mexico Tech. And my webinar ground rules. Most of you have been on my webinars before, but can you raise your hand if you could hear me? Perfect. I'm going to lower your hands, and we'll use that signal as a signal to let me know if something's going wrong throughout the webinar, or if we allow you to speak at the end of the webinar. And can you put a hi, hello, how are you into the Q&A so I know the Q&A is working? And if you have a question throughout the presentation, please put it in the Q&A. Enrique said NMT represent because he's a tech student or grad. Dr. Kathleen says hi. Hi, Kathleen. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Estefanita Rawlings.
Greetings and welcome to our webinar, Cybersecurity, an Introduction to Protecting Your Small Business.
Steffi, your camera went off. Are you sharing?
Yeah, it just went off. Okay, thanks. It said host has stopped your video.
See me.
I'm going to share my screen. So welcome. My name is Estefanita Rawlings, and I'm the coordinator of the New Mexico Small Business Development Program called Technology Commercialization Accelerator here at NMT in Socorro, New Mexico. A little background about the TCA. The center is part of the New Mexico Small Business Development Centers and has been in operation for 2.5 years. We provide no-cost confidential counseling to the residents of New Mexico regarding intellectual property, which includes patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. We are also tasked to provide cybersecurity awareness to innovators, entrepreneurs, and small businesses of all the residents of New Mexico. Just some background here. This month, the TCA collaborated with the New Mexico Cybersecurity Centers of Excellence, also here at New Mexico Tech, to celebrate Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We have provided webinars related to cybersecurity to the education, careers, industry, and community arenas. We have scheduled 2 webinars a week as we try to provide cybersecurity awareness to the residents of New Mexico. This past week, we presented information on cybersecurity to industry. We provided a webinar on the NIST cybersecurity and privacy frameworks. Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency, CISA, and Federal Trade Commission also had some small business cybersecurity recommendations, which we presented. We also had the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, PTAC, present NIST cybersecurity framework. It's the SP 800-171. And this is for vendors or people that want to be vendors at the federal government, and they need to make sure they are compliant with that SP 800-171. So the New Mexico Small Business Development Center Network provides free trainings and webinars to all New Mexico residents as we try to educate and inform residents about building sustainable businesses to promote the economy of New Mexico. We will have a link to our training events at the end of the slideshow. We welcome you and we are glad you are here to learn about cybersecurity. Hopefully I can help you with that. And we are recording this presentation and the recording will be placed on the New Mexico Small Business YouTube channel. We will also have a Q&A at the end of the session, the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions or comments, please use the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. So we'll start with our presentation. If I can move mine. So today I will go over some terminology and then we will review some standard recommendations from NIST, CISA, and FTC agencies that have set up security standards to help small businesses protect their data, privacy, devices, and businesses from adversaries that want to get access to your systems. The goal is to learn some best practices that can be put in place to help keep your company, employees, and customers' data safe while doing business with you. At the end, we will have that Q&A session, okay? So first we will go through a list of words and what they mean. So everybody's probably heard about cyber, and cyber is relating to or involving computers or computer networks. It's any device used to access the internet. Cybersecurity is the protection of computer systems and networks from unauthorized users. We've all heard cyber attack because there's been so many. That is when an unauthorized user tries or obtains access to your computer or computer network in order to steal your data or to damage your software or your hardware or to disrupt the services that you provide. And phishing, with that weird spelling, phishing, is an email method used to attempt to obtain your credentials so one can get into your computer system. Phishing used to be the #1 way a hacker could compromise your system. Now the way to access one system is through unresolved vulnerabilities. We will talk about that later in the presentation. Ransomware is software that gets access to your system and may encrypt your data, lock you out of your device and or systems, and demand a ransom to be paid. Upon payment, a key should be provided to allow you to obtain access to your systems. And that depends on who the adversary is, if they will provide that code even after you have paid or not. So. And then a virus is an unauthorized software running on your system with the intent to break the system or allow hackers to access your system. And an antivirus is software that identifies viruses running on your system and either quarantines the virus or uninstalls the bad software. Malware is any type of malicious software that is designed to cause harm to computers, services, and or devices. And a data breach is when your data is stolen and either sold to the dark web or is published on the hacker's website or a different website. And then hacked is when you get notification that someone has your data or they could be requesting money to release your system. Some of the terms we mentioned have to do with data, computer systems, and networks, and what happens when cybersecurity best practices are not in place. So we all have been attending webinars and reading information regarding cybersecurity awareness, and they include keep your software up to date, use and require strong passwords, change default usernames and passwords, implement multi-factor authentication, encrypt your data, be suspicious of unexpected emails. And all this is good. This is good information. But what we're going to talk about today is there's several federal agencies that have tools to help businesses get started with privacy and security process to help keep your computer systems secure and your data private. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, is a government agency that has been tasked to create cybersecurity standards, guidelines, and best practices for the U.S. industry, federal agency, privacy, and public businesses. The two standards that we're going to go over today, the website is www.nist.gov, and NIST cybersecurity programs seek to enable greater development and application of practical, innovative security technologies and methodologies that enhance the country's ability to address current and future computer and information security challenges. On this website, they have a list of many documents called frameworks to follow. Today, we are going to go over the privacy framework and the cybersecurity framework. The privacy framework will address privacy risks, and the security framework, which provides a way to manage and reduce cybersecurity risk. So the privacy framework, what is the NIST privacy framework, and how can my organization use it? Well, it consists of 5 steps, which include identify, govern, control, protect, and communicate. So the NIST privacy framework is a voluntary tool that can help your organization create and improve a privacy program. Effective privacy risk management can help you build trust in your products and services and communicate better about your privacy practices and meet your compliance obligations. Good cybersecurity is important, but it can't address all privacy risks. So the first step in the privacy framework is called identify. So you identify the data you are processing from collection to disposal. This should include your customer or client information, your suppliers, and your HR information. So, wait just a minute, sorry about that. So when you identify the data you are processing, such as collecting, using, sharing, storing, and map out its flow through your whole system throughout the full data life cycle from collection to disposal. This doesn't have to be comprehensive at first, but it's a foundation for understanding your privacy risks. And when you're going through your privacy framework, and when you identify, govern, control, protect, and communicate, you don't just do it once. It's like a working document. You continue to do it over and over and over. And so the next step you have is govern. Know your privacy obligations, that you need to be compliant. So this privacy culture starts at the top. Know your privacy related legal obligations so that you can build compliant products and services. And help your workforce know their roles and responsibilities so that they can make better decisions about how to effectively manage privacy risks in the design and deployment of your products and services. Control your data. Control your data that you are collecting. Why are you collecting it? Consider your policies. Are you collecting, sharing, or keeping data that you don't need? Consider how your policies help you or other organizations may help you or other organizations maintain control over data and how individuals might have a role as well. Take your privacy risk and legal obligations into account when deciding on the functionality of your systems, products, or services. Consider flexible design so that you can respond more cost-effective to shifting customer privacy preferences in a dynamic legal environment. What kind of data processing do you do? The more you can disassociate data from individuals and devices, the greater the privacy gains. Consider how different technical measures such as de-identification, decentralized data processing, and other techniques could allow you to meet your business or agency objectives while protecting privacy. And then it goes on, the next step is to protect it. Control who has access to your data. What software are you using to protect your data? Run regular backups, test your backups, have policies for disposing data and devices. Control who logs onto your network and uses, Control who logs onto your network and uses your computers and other devices. Use security software to protect your data. Encrypt sensitive data at rest and in transit. Conduct regular backups of your data. Test your backups. Try your restores, make sure they work. Update security software regularly, automating those updates if possible. And have formal policies for safely disposing of data and devices. And the last step you have to do is to communicate. Educate your employees on your data processing activities. Come up with a plan if you have a data breach, and how will you provide any notification? Communicate. Craft policies for communicating internally and externally about your data processing activities. Increase transparency and customer understanding by providing clear and accessible notices and reports, or implementing alerts, nudges, and other signals to inform individuals about your data processing activity and the choices. Consider what you will do in case of a data breach. How will you provide notification or any remedies such as credit monitoring or freezes? So these are the 5 functions that NIST has come up for the privacy framework. And again, they include identify, govern, control, protect, and communicate. And so that is the first framework that we're going over. The next framework is called the Cybersecurity Framework. And what is the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, and how can my organization use it? Well, the framework is organized by 5 key functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. These 5 widely understood terms, when considered together, provide a comprehensive view of the life cycle for managing cybersecurity over time. The activities listed, okay. So we will talk about the activities listed under each function. So those functions include identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. So the first function is, like the last framework, is to identify. You identify your critical processes and assets. So develop an organization understanding to manage cybersecurity risk to systems, assets, data, and capabilities. So identify critical enterprise process and enterprise processes and assets. What are your enterprise's activities that absolutely must continue in order for you to be viable? For example, this could be maintaining a website to retrieve payments, protecting customer patient information securely, or ensuring that the information your enterprise collects remains accessible and accurate. Document your information flows. It's important not only to understand what type of information your enterprise collects and uses, but also understand where the data is located and flows, especially where contracts and external partners are engaged. Maintain hardware and software inventory. It's important to have an understanding of the computers and software in your enterprise, because they are frequently the entry points of malicious actors. The inventory could be as simple as a spreadsheet. And then establish policies for cybersecurity that include roles and responsibilities. These policies and procedures should be clearly describe your expectations for how cybersecurity activities will protect your information and system and how they support critical enterprise processes. Cybersecurity policies should be integrated with other enterprise risk considerations. And then identify threats, vulnerability, and risk to assets. Ensure risk management and processes are established and managed to ensure internal and external threats. Ensure risk responses are identified and prioritized, executed, and results monitored. Here, when we talk about the vulnerabilities, you need to make sure that your vulnerabilities are resolved, because if they're not resolved, that is the number one reason how a hacker can get into your system now. It used to be through phishing, and now it's through unresolved vulnerabilities. So the next step after you identify all your assets, you want to protect, develop, and you should develop and implement the appropriate safeguards to ensure delivery of services. You always want your business running. So manage access to assets and information. Create unique accounts for each employee and ensure that the users only have access to information, computers, and applications that are needed for their jobs. Don't just open it up to everybody and go, oh, everybody can do AP and PO and time tracking. So you just want to make sure that you have unique accounts for employees and make sure that you authenticate your users and have passwords, and also use the multi-factor techniques. Right now, multi-factor techniques is a good protection. And also make sure that you create its passwords before you grant access to the information or computers, and tightly manage and track physical access to your devices. Know where your computers are. And then you want to protect your sensitive data. If you are collecting and storing sensitive data, it's your responsibility to protect it. If your enterprise stores or transmits sensitive data, make sure that this data is protected by encryption, both while it's stored on computers as well as when it's transmitted to other parties. Consider using integrity checking to ensure only approved changes to the data have been made. Securely delete and destroy data when it's no longer needed or required for compliance purposes. And then here we go, conduct your regular backups. Many operating systems have built-in backup capabilities. Software and cloud solutions are also available that can be automated and that can automate the backup process. A good practice is to keep one frequently backed up, set off. A good practice is to keep one frequently backed up set of data offline to protect it against ransomware. And also, when you do your backups, make sure you test the restoring, because if you have if you get hacked, and your system's down and you're going to go restore your data and your backups, your restore doesn't work, then you're SOL. So you should make sure that you test your backups and try to make sure that restore and test them, because you don't want to go, oh, I have my data backup, and then you try to restore it and it doesn't work, and then you don't have your data. So that's very important. And then protect your devices. Consider installing host-based firewalls and other protections such as endpoint security products. Apply uniform configurations to device and control changes to device configurations. Disable device services or features that are not necessary to support your mission functions. And ensure that there is a policy and that devices are disposed of securely. And then here you go, manage device vulnerabilities. Regularly update both the operating system and applications that are installed on your computers and other devices to protect them from attack. If possible, enable automatic updates. Consider using software tools to scan devices for additional vulnerabilities and remediate vulnerabilities with a high likelihood and or impact. Remediate your vulnerabilities. Nowadays, people are finding that they knew of a vulnerability and then they get hacked through that vulnerability. And if they would have remediated it, it would have been, the hackers wouldn't have been able to get in. So right there is your number one cause of being hacked. And then also train your users. You see that all the time. Regularly train and retrain all users to be sure that they are aware of the enterprise security, cybersecurity policies and procedures and their specific roles and responsibility as a condition of employment. Train your users. The next function is detect and develop and implement the appropriate activities to identify the occurrence of a cybersecurity event. Test and update detection processes. Develop and test processes and procedures for detecting unauthorized entities and actions on the network and in the physical environment, including personal activity. Staff should be aware of their roles and responsibilities for detection and related reporting, both within your organization and to external governance and legal authorities. And know the expected data flows of your enterprise. If you know what and how data is expected to flow for your enterprise, you are much more likely to notice when the unexpected happens. And unexpected is never a good thing when it comes to cybersecurity. Unexpected data flows might include customer information being exported from an internal database and exiting the network. If you have contracted work to a cloud or managed services provider, discuss with them how they track their flows and report, including unexpected events. And maintain and monitor logs. Logs are crucial in order to identify anomalies in your enterprise computers and applications. These logs record events such as changes to systems, to accounts, as well as the initiation of communication channels. Consider using software tools that can aggregate these logs and look for patterns or anomalies from expected network behavior. And then understand the impact of cybersecurity events. If a cybersecurity event is detected, your enterprise should work quickly and thoroughly to understand the breadth and depth of the impact. Seek help. Communicating information on the event with appropriate stakeholders will help keep you in good stead in terms of partners, oversight bodies, and others, including investors, and improve policies and processes. That's all. Detecting and responding. The next one are very hard on that I think would be very hard. So I haven't worked on a cybersecurity breach or anything like that, but I just provide information on them. But the next one is respond. So develop and implement the appropriate activities to take action regarding a detected cybersecurity event. And so you should have a plan, so ensure your response plans are tested. It's even more important to test response plans to make sure each person knows their responsibilities in executing the plan. The better prepared your organization is, the more effective the response is likely to be. This includes knowing any legal reporting requirements or required information sharing. My webinar does not include anything about reporting requirements. And down the line, I'll probably add that information, because Christopher thinks it's very, very important and there's so much to be done about it. So also ensure response plans are updated. Testing the plan and execution during an incident inevitably will reveal needed improvements. Be sure to update response plans with lessons learned and coordinate with internal and external stakeholders. It's important to make sure that your enterprise response plans and updates include all key stakeholders and external services providers. And this can contribute to improvements in planning and execution. And then the last step on this cybersecurity framework is recover. Develop and implement the appropriate activities to maintain plans for resilience and to restore any capabilities or services that were impaired due to a cybersecurity event. So you need to communicate with internal and external stakeholders. Part of the recovery depends upon effective communication. Your recovery plans need to carefully account for what, how, and when information will be shared with various stakeholders so that all interested parties receive the information they need, but no inappropriate information is shared. And ensure recovery plans are updated. As with response plans, testing execution will improve employee and partner awareness and highlight areas for improvement. And be sure to update recovery plans with your lessons learned. And then manage public relations and company reputation. One of the key aspects of recovery is managing the enterprise's reputation. When developing the recovery plan, consider how you will manage public relations so that information sharing is accurate, complete, timely, and not reactionary. So we have gone over the privacy and the cybersecurity framework from NIST. The next federal agency that we will talk about is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and also known as CISA. And CISA leads the nation's strategic and unified work to strengthen the security, resilience, and workforce of the cyber ecosystem to protect critical services and the American way of life. So that's from their websites. CISA has what they call a cybersecurity essential toolkit, and they have the essential toolkit, and we'll go through it. I'm going to log on to that. I'm going to link up to that webpage, and I'll show you their essential toolkit. But it is a set of modules designed to break down the CISA cyber essentials into bite-sized actions for IT and leadership to work toward full implementation for each cyber essential. And it's a manual, and so it has chapters, and it focuses on recommendation actions to build cyber readiness into 6 related aspects of an organization culture of cyber readiness. So basically it is develop a cybersecurity strategy, develop a security awareness, protect your critical assets and apps, make sure your data is backed up and your backups, your restores work, and ensure that only those who need access to have access, and develop a crisis response. And so let's see. I'm going to share. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Wait just a minute. Sorry about that. So this is CISA website. You can see it's an official website of the United States government. And here's the Cyber Essential Toolkit. And these are all downloadable information. They have a whole section for this Cyber Essential Toolkit. And you'll see that if you open this, they say to develop your cybersecurity strategy, and then it gives you all kinds of actions that should be done for leaders or your IT staff. And then they give you a lot of resources here for you to go ahead and click on it. And then if you're the leader, lead investment in basic cybersecurity. And it goes through, these are helpful documents that will help you with yourself as the leader, the staff, and what you should do when you have developing your essential kit for cybersecurity. Develop a, yep.
Can you put that link in the chat?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you get it? Okay. So these you can download and print them. And then you have these resources. If you use them online, you can link to there. Protect critical assets and applications. These are good. Your surroundings. Ensure access only those who belong. I haven't gone through this so much, but I know that's out there. And here's your data. Back up your data and your configurations. What I'm trying to do during this webinar is provide you resources that you can go out and help you build your cyber security strategy and awareness. So this is all good right here with the CISA. I'm going to go back to my presentation. And I do have, you will receive these, the PDF of my presentation. And the last page will have links to all these places I'm talking about. So I have it to NIST, CISA, and FTC. And I have a new one today. So then we have another resource that is available and is targeted to small business, is located on the Federal Trade Commission website. And here I'm going to go share again, but I'm going to go to the FTC. So this is, again, an official website of the United States. I'll put this one in there. Okay. So here they have a website for small businesses, and they have learn the basics for protecting your business from cyber attacks. And here they have cybersecurity basics. And they have these download files. Let's see if you'll be able to see. And I guess, again, they're handouts. And so they just go through, this one was called Cybersecurity Basics, protect your files and devices that we've learned about earlier, protect your wireless. And these are good handouts. If you need them for your employees, you can print them, hand them out. Another thing, this has so many. It has additional resources, guide for employers. It has quizzes here. You can download the material. More on it on the FTC. But one thing that we haven't talked about is physical security. And so we talk about your computers, we talk about your devices, your data, but your office is real important too. And wherever you keep your information there, one needs to make sure that you're not leaving your company data laying around, open folders, leaving computer screens open with sensitive data. And even in webinars, what are you exposing? And then also, if you have confidential data, you should probably have a policy, how you shred it, how to get rid of it. But here, again, you have a download file, and you have to store your stuff securely, limit your access, protect your data. If you have people working at home, make sure they're using multi-factor authentication.
Steffi, are you sharing the website?
Yeah, I'm sharing the document. Can you see it?
What we're seeing is your slide.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm going all over with you. Thank you for bringing that. Okay. So this one was on physical security and how to protect your equipment and paper. And these, again, are handouts. I put the link in the chat so you can go there and find more information. So this was the physical security. Can you still see my screen?
We're looking at the FTC website now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And so this is a good resource here. So this week we did a presentation with some cybersecurity centers of excellence. And we had Lori. Can you see this new screen? This is the Center for Internet Security.
Yes.
And then let me put this in the website. And again, this will be in the chat. This will be on my presentation. I'll have one file full of links. And so here's some security controls. So we talked about inventory, your software, data protection, account management, and this is a good resource also. So I will go back to my presentation. Am I sharing my presentation?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. So we went through the FTC. And then this is you'll get these links. And from the NIST, CISA, FTC, and other organizations, you will find readiness documents. The goal for your business should be come up with a plan to make sure you have a cyber awareness essential kit in place. Each and every of you will have a different plan because not all businesses are the same. Also, if you're a small business and you think they're not going to go after you, what would you do if you didn't have a plan? So you have heard of ransomware horror stories, data breaches, cyber attacks. They are real. And as small business owners should be aware and come up with a plan to protect your small business, your customers, protect your customers, your employees, and all your information. It is everybody's responsibility to keep our cyber clean and safe. Today, I have exposed you to terminology and resources where a small business can get information to help you get started protecting your small business. I recommend you put a simple plan in place, do backups, and make sure your restore works. Educate your employees and yourself on safe measures to protect your business. Educate everyone on being safe on the internet because someone is out to get you. So I go through that kind of fast, sorry. I get so nervous. Oh, I don't know if I told you about, I did tell you that we were having the webinars, but next week on October 27th, we will be having a webinar from, see if I could get this, National Cybersecurity Alliance. And they're the ones that's been pitching the cybersecurity awareness. And they're going to have a webinar. We will have a webinar at 11 o'clock. And the webinar's title is Staying Safe Online is Easy. And we will have them talk about what they're promoting, the multi-factor passwords, password managers. And the goal right here is to talk about, to reach out to the community, where it includes privacy as individuals, or just regular pieces, no small businesses, no education. It's just you as an individual and staying safe online. So do we have any questions in the chat?
Let me open it up to, if you want to speak, please raise your hand. You could put your messages in the chat or the Q&A.
And also New Mexico small business centers have events all the time on starting up your business, starting e-commerce, what do you call it, on the web? That's Christopher's #1 class. What class do you offer?
E-commerce and alternative selling methods.
Yes, and Christopher does a lot of presentations on startup. So we have 19 centers in New Mexico that provide assistance to New Mexico residents on starting up businesses. We also have the procurement training assistance center that helps you get certified to be a vendor to the federal government. And then also we have the IBA, the International Business Accelerator down south, and they help with the exporting. And then my center helps with the intellectual property. And so if you need help with your patents, trademarks, copyrights and trade secrets, we can assist you with that. We also provide trainings on prior art searching. We get the United States Patent and Trademark Office down here, and they do presentations on intellectual property. We had the Copyright Office do a great presentation, and we'll probably be coming out with some copyright series. And we're trying to educate everybody as they start up their small business and all the protection that they need to do to stay safe.
We have a Q&A, Steffi, from Enrique. Can you all help with copywriting, music, and video too?
Yes, we provide you the resources, but we don't actually do the work for you, but we share the education on what you would need to do to get compliant or to apply for your copyright.
Perfect. We have another one from Dr. Kathleen. Am I right in assuming that the links to the websites have specifics on the protections we need to take? For example, the specifics on how to protect your physical information, how to obtain multi-factor authentication services, etc.
Yes, there's some of my websites have like handout sheets, like if you have when I said devices, like if they have Android or Apple applications, it'll give information like how to set up a multi-factor for each one. So yes, they do have a lot of resources there for you. And then also when you, any apps that you're running, and they have the option for multi-authentication, multi-factor authentication, it's recommended that you set it up. So what we're trying to do is just flood you with information. So
Dr. Kathleen says, wonderful, thank you. Again, you could put
Does
questions.
anybody, do you guys already have your cybersecurity strategy and have a plan in place, or you're thinking about it? A lot of small businesses have like 1 or 2 computers or 1 user, but you should be aware of it and make sure that you're safe online, because you're investing so much into your small business, and this should be part of it because it could be hacked and protected. So.
And I'm gonna ask if Denise has any questions as well. Dr. Kathleen says, no, we're starting from scratch and I know we need to protect it. There, she's a total beginner.
Yes, the resources I have will help you. And then if you're looking to be a vendor to the federal government, the classes that we offer, there's that SP 800-171, and that is so detailed, and that is, it like touches on every kind of cybersecurity. So that's the CMMC, which all vendors will have to be certified, I think by 2024, to make sure that their systems are secure. And especially if they're working with the federal government or county agencies or any of the tribal communities here. So.
And Steffi, did you say CMMC?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I have a link on there with my page there. And we send out the deck, the presentation deck. And if you have any questions, you guys can call me and we can set up an appointment. And I do presentations for intellectual property too, so that's fun too. So, but and then also on our website, on our YouTube channel, we have information there. I mean, all our websites are not all our webinars are stored there. So
I'll put the address in the chat to everybody.
oh yes, I've been wanting to do that. That's so good. I'm glad you made me ask me to put my links in the chat, so you can just open them and then save them. My next new class probably won't be offered till December, but it'll have to do on prior art searching at the USPTO. They have a new software for patent searching. So that's all new. So we'll probably do that in December. So.
Are you going to do that with the Cybersecurity Center in Los Cruces?
We have a resource down there. It's called the Patent and Trademark Resource Center. And so they help with the searches, prior art searching. And so we'll be working with them on that presentation.
Perfect. And Enrique asks, are there any services you offer like a security audit?
Right now, we don't offer them. I know that New Mexico Cybersecurity of Excellence offers them, and that CMMC, if you were to complete that CMMC, that's like doing an audit, because those are all the requirements that need to be addressed for an audit.
And you mentioned the Cybersecurity Center of Excellence at New Mexico Tech?
Yes, Lori Liebrook, Dr. Lori Liebrook. Yes. And I don't think PTAC does them, but if you take a Alethea class on the SP 800, the NIST 800, no, SP 800-171, that will address your audits. But right now, we're not doing audits. I'd like down the line to do some audits for our small businesses, but we're not doing them now.
Perfect. Again, we'll open it up to people to raise their hand if they'd like to ask a question. Denise in grants, do you have any questions over there?
No, we're good to go, Chris. Thank you.
Perfect.
You did a great job.
Hey, would you like to promote your business, Denise?
Not at this time.
Okay. We have panelists, the MPE, manufacturing.
Hi, I'm Denise Williams with New Mexico Manufacturing Extension Partnership.
Denise, we can barely hear you. Can you talk into the other side of the camera?
Okay, I got that. You do such a good job, Chris. I always enjoy your presentation. So you really jumped into this virtual world quite nicely. I'm Denise Williams, and I'm with New Mexico Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And one of our oversight people are the National Institute of Standard of Technology that is rolling out the cybersecurity. So thank you. I can never say your name right. Stephanie?
Staffy, just call me Staffy.
Thank you so much. Anyway, that was kind of cool to see it in writing someplace else. The month of October is Manufacturing Month, and Denise Chavez with the Small Business Development Center in Grants has been helping out for quite a few years, trying to expose people to processes, profit, the people and the product through Manufacturing Day. And this year she came up with a way to connect to cybersecurity, thanks to all of your partnerships. We're located throughout New Mexico. Our main office is in Albuquerque, and our focus is manufacturers and the service industry. And we are funded along with the NMSBA, along with the labs and the universities, to help the small businesses grow. So thank you for the invite to Denise and Steffi and Chris.
Well, thank you. That was great. I'm glad you joined us today. So, okay, let's see, do we have any more?
I don't see any more questions, just a comment from Dr. Kathleen. She says thank you to both you and I. And she feels very supported with our webinar, so we appreciate that comment.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you for attending, and look on our website, just put our events down there and see what classes we can help you with, webinars and trainings. And thank you for attending.